Welcome everyone of all pronouns to this special adaptation of Bill Nye the Science Guy. I'm your host, Sidnie Clark, and today we're going to be spinning up this new adaptation. Wait, please don't leave. I mean, you did come to see a Bill Nye video, so we funneled up an EF fun time. We'll start off today's episode with a little quiz. Do you know the commonalities between Joplin, Missouri, Moore, Oklahoma, and El Reno, Oklahoma? Well, they're all major cities that have been hit by destructive tornadoes. And if you haven't gotten the hint of today's video, it's all about tornadoes. But tornadoes are not all the scary monsters that everyone thinks of them. In fact, and this presentation may seem like one that you had to sit through in your 6th grade science class, but today we'll actually be going through the different types of tornadoes, the EF ranking scale of tornadoes, and the common misconceptions about these dancing tubes of cloud. Let's get started. Tornadoes come in many shapes and sizes, and no matter what if it's size, shape, path, or wind speed, the tornadoes are as unique as the thumbprint on your own hand. In fact, according to AccuWeather.com, there are 3 different main shapes of tornadoes. There are a long noodle shape, a cone or stovepipe shape, and a thicker wedge type. Now, tornadoes don't commonly stay in just one shape through their lifespan. They tend to move from different shapes depending on how long they live. Tornadoes are actually not as visible most of the time as people see. You may see pictures, but most commonly, tornadoes either look like a rain-wrapped mess that is completely covered in rain, or it's not visible to the human eye where the boundary of the tornado starts and ends. According to the National Weather Society, according to AccuWeather, stronger tornadoes tend to create little tornadoes that dance around it called satellite tornadoes. And these tornadoes, which are typically called supercell thunderstorm tornadoes, are not the only type of tornado. Sometimes tornadoes can be produced by high wind gusts, which are called landspouts. Or, if they're over water, they're called waterspouts. So many different shapes and sizes, but what really counts is the damage that they do and what they are ranked. Tornadoes are ranked using the Enhanced Fujita Scale, or EF scale for short. The EF scale has 6 levels, starting from EF0, which means weak, to EF5, which is destructive or catastrophic. Most commonly, people hear that the EF scale is based off the wind speed of a tornado during its life, but that's actually not true. It's actually ranked based off the amount of damage that it does. So that means that if a tornado happened to be by your house and it passed by at a respectable distance, the only thing damaged was your mom's potted plant on the front porch, that tornado would be ranked at EF0. Most tornadoes tend to get a reputation as dangerous and destructive, typically being ranked as an EF3 or 0 when they are seen in the news. However, most tornadoes actually are not that high and strong of winds. That's actually a common misconception, which we will talk about next. Most commonly, when people think of tornadoes or hear a tornado warning, they think that their impending doom is coming straight for their house, when in actuality, according to the National Weather Service, only 1% of tornadoes in the USA are marked as EF3 or higher or destructive. And most times, 80% of tornadoes are marked as EF0 or EF1, usually only causing damage to cornfields and barns. Another common misconception, which you may have heard as a child, is that when you're on the road and you hear that there's a tornado heading towards you, that you should hide out under an overpass. This is actually very dangerous according to the National Weather Service. And you are actually not supposed to do this, as debris can still sneak underneath the overpass, or the overpass itself can collapse on you. The safest place to be when a tornado strikes and you're on the road is to pull off to the side and get into a ditch. Well, the one final misconception is that the shape of the tornado determines the strength. So that long rope that you may see on the other end of the cornfield is not as weak as it seems. It may harvest over 200 miles per hour winds. This tornado specifically ended up becoming an EF3 tornado. As we come to an end, let's trace over the path that we've taken today. Today's path, we discovered the different types and shapes of tornadoes, the EF scale ranking in its entirety, and debunk some common misconceptions. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and unfortunately, me and my producers do have to make a run before we get stuck in some copyright lawsuits. We hope that we'll see you probably never again. Thank you.